What's going on, my super fam? Today we have a video on Honkai Star Rail. We haven't done this in a while, but it's going to be a very important video today discussing about two of the most popular and expected character to date, which is Imbibitor Lunae, Danhang 5-star, and Xuan. I absolutely adore both of these character design and would love to get them both. However, I'm pretty much a free-to-play in Honkai Star Rail, so yeah, I'll probably just go for one. And it is the topic of this video, which is to look into whoever it is that's more suitable for you to choose, and it's more of a video for me as well. So yeah, that's gonna be good. First off, we're going to be looking into Imbibitor Lunae. Now, no story spoiler here, guys, but if you have already finished patch 1.2 story, I believe that you should have already get a chance to play a bit of Lunae. And yes, his attack animation is freaking impressive. I would say that's one of the best attacking animation in the game up until now. And if you have been playing Honkai Star Rail, you know that most of the characters have good animation, but Imbibitor Lunae just takes it to another lovely level. It's so impressive. I love watching it every single time. So I guess those of you who have just been waiting for him as a character specifically, I'm more than happy to just pull for him. Now, the biggest thing about Lunae is when it comes to using his skills, where it's basically a very much enhanced version of his basic attack. You can use his skills and power up his basic attack up to 3 times, and of course the higher the stacks go, the higher the damage he will be able to do. And from the second enhancement onward, he will have access to AoE when it comes to his basic attack, which is really good. And basically trying to get to the third enhancement of his basic attack is the bread and butter of his gameplay. For his ultimate, he'll be dealing a ton of damage to a single enemy, while also dealing damage to adjacent enemies as well. And in addition, Lunae will gain what's called Squama Sacrosancta points that can be used as alternative skill point for his enhanced basic attack. The base of this is that he'll be getting 2 stack every single time he uses his ult. Furthermore, when it comes to Lunae's skills, whenever he unleashes Divine Spear or Fulgurant Leap, which is the second and third enhancement of his basic attack, he gets 1 stack of Dominating Roar starting from the 4th hit, and each stacks of these will increase his crit damage by 11.25% at a maximum of 4 stack at level 9, which is really good. So basically overall that's just going to be increasing his damage by a lot. Not to mention his talent also increases his attack as well, where every time an attack hits the opponent, he gains 1 stack of Righteous Heart, and this increases damage by 9.38% up to a 6 stacks that lasts until the end of his turn. Really good, guys. So everything we've seen so far is basically going to be going all into increasing his damage, not to mention the scaling of his attack are really high already. For his technique, after using, he enters what's called Leaping Dragon state for 20 seconds. Using the attack button will cause him to move forward rapidly for a set of distance and attack all enemies it touch. After entering combat with attacking the enemies, it will deal up to 120% of his attack to all enemies and gain 1 stack of Squama Sacrosancta. For his passive talent, the first one would give him at the start of the battle, he immediately regenerates 15 energy, which is really good. Second passive allows him to resist crowd control debuff by 35%. And the last passive talent gives him crit rate increased by 12% when dealing damage to enemies target with imaginary weakness. Now, if you're someone who's considering going for Eidolons, his Eidolon is pretty good also. His E1 increases the number of stackable Righteous Heart stacks by 4, and 1 extra stack of Righteous Heart will be gained for each hit per attack, and this is actually insane, guys. Increasing stack by 4 means that you get a maximum of 10 stack now, and every hit you're able to get 2 stacks, so you only need like 5 hits for him to get a maximum of 10 stack. Overall, you're basically getting almost 100% attack increase if you get maximum stack. E2, after using his ult, Lunae action is advanced forward by 100% and gains 1 extra Squama Sacrosancta. An OK Eidolon basically gets him a maximum of 3 points of Squama. E4 gives him that buff provided by Dominating Roar persists until the end of this character's next turn. So it actually allows him to get his crit damage buff more from his E skill a little bit longer, which is okay for an E4. For his E6, after any allies uses ultimate, the imaginary resistant penetration of Lunae's next fulgurant leap, which is the third enhancement of his E skill, increases by 20% up to 3 times. So yeah, overall I would say it's pretty decent for his Eidolons. The best thing for your budget so far is going to be for his E1. Other than that, you're going to be spending quite a lot of money to try and get more. So that's basically should be everything for Imbibitor Lunae. We've already know how good of his attack animations are going to be and his attack scalings, plus all of his talent focusing on increasing his attack, which is really good. So obviously the pros on his skills and kit right now would definitely be, even though he is a destruction character, his ability to be able to dish out damage is really good. You'll be seeing a lot of high numbers when you are using Lunae. He's pretty free to play friendly also, guys, because destruction light cones do have some really decent free to play light cones at this point in time. We already have basically the best attack buffing character in the game for free, which is Yukong, and she's an absolutely perfect character to run alongside with Lunae. So overall everything is going to be focusing him on dishing out damage for the team. Now for his downside, the biggest thing for him right now I would say is that he drains a lot of skill points if you haven't already have his Guama points available. Basically you're going to be draining 2 up to 3 skill points if you want to use his enhanced attack version. So if you've got many other support character on the team who requires you skill point, you're going to be in quite a tough situation with lacking skill points. He doesn't really have any defenses utilities, so the other character on the team will be having to save his butt quite a lot whenever it comes to healing or providing a shield. But yeah, of course Lunae is a character that focuses everything into buffing his attack, so yeah, just let him do what he actually do best. Next we come to our lovely Xuan. Oh my god, she looks absolutely fantastic. I love her character design ever since I first saw her. You know, usually I love the combination of pink and purple being added onto a character. I do feel that it has a really good kind of mix of color into it. And yeah, Xuan characteristic as a character herself is really interesting to talk to. So of course I have been waiting for her ever since. Now Xuan kit is actually really interesting. For her skills, what she does is that she will be activating what's called a matrix of prescience, and now the damage received by your other allies will be apportioned to her. So it's kind of like a bit like Dia if you have already used her. But what's more interesting is that she will be able to give max HP increase to your other character and crit rate increase as well, which is huge for a preservation character, since most of the time preservation character up until now only gives you defense utilities like giving you a shield. Her ultimate is pretty simple. She'll be dealing 95% of Xuan's max HP to all enemies at level 9 and obtain 1 trigger count for the HP restore from Xuan's talent, which leads us to her talents is that while Xuan is not knocked down, your allies will take around 17% less damage at talent level 9, and then whenever her HP falls below 50%, it will restore her HP by 88.75% of the amount of HP she is currently missing. So basically this is kind of like a lifeline for Xuan because she is taking damage for the team. So this is kind of like something that heals her up so that she survives a lot better. It will have a default of 1 trigger but can possess up to 2 trigger counts at maximum. So yeah, you can already see that your survivability for the team is really good already, because as long as you're able to trigger her burst, she will be able to heal herself pretty well. For her techniques, she'll basically create a barrier that lasts for 20 seconds. This will block any enemy's attack. However, if you do attack enemies within that time, she will automatically trigger matrix of prescience that lasts for 2 turns. So basically a free E skill without needing Xuan to use her skill point. For Xuan's first passive ascension, whenever her E skill is activated, she will generate 20 extra energy when she uses her skill, which is a lot. Really good passive ascension, guys, considering her burst is just so important for her survivability. However, what's better is when she gets her second passive talent is that whenever she uses her ult, she will heal other allies for 5% of her max HP plus 133, which is really nice considering if she actually missed out this specific healing capability, your team survivability is actually not going to be that great, making Xuan actually a bad character, because then you will still need to have a healing character on the team in order for you to survive. But with this, your team survivability will be a lot better alongside with every other defensive utility she has, and that is really good. For a third passive talent, if enemies attempt to apply crowd control debuff while her E skill is active, this will resist all crowd control debuff applied by enemies. It can only be triggered once, however, whenever you reactivate her E skill, this will be refreshed, so that is really nice, making your battle a lot easier when you resist this kind of debuff. For Xuan Eidolon's first E1 gives you an increase of 30% crit damage. I don't really have to discuss too much, 30% crit damage is really good. Her E2 basically acts a little bit like Bailu's talent, where if an ally is basically killed during the Matrix of Prescience is active, they will not be knocked down and regain 70% of their max HP. However, the downside is that this can only be triggered one time per battle, so I would say that this is kind of like you require to spend your Star Rail Pass to try and get an E2 just so that it's similar to Bailu. Overall, it's okay, not that really great considering how much you have to invest in. E4, whenever your other character under Matrix of Prescience are attacked, Xuan will regenerate 5 energy, so overall helps her with a lot of ability to get her burst back, and that is nice. E6 will basically gives her an insane numbers of increase regarding to her attack power of her burst. So yeah, considering that you'll be spending a ton of money just to get E6, most of us won't be taking this into considerations. So those are basically Xuan's skills and kit, guys. I would say she has a really unique skills up until now, and the very first preservation character to have access to really good damage. Basically everything scales off of her HP, so yeah, as long as you just build HP into her, she'll be able to heal your team, take care of your other team member really well, while being able to attack as well. She even buff crit and max HP for your team too, so I would feel that if you have Xuan available on your team, you won't be needing any kind of a healer role. You just slot her in the team and she heals you, defend for your other allies, and being able to attack at the same time as well, which is insane. Now, when regarding to Xuan's downside, the biggest one only right now I would say is that she doesn't have any free to play light cones right now, because we don't have any HP percentage increase effects on preservation light cone. Apart from her BIS light cone, which is obviously locked behind gacha, most of the other light cones would be defense increase. So yeah, we just have to work along with it for the time being if you don't really invest into her light cone. And so guys, those are basically my saying regarding the two characters. Obviously this is not official information just yet since these characters aren't available as of this point, but I believe that these information should be final very soon, so we can kind of expect this is how the character would perform. Overall, I love both of these characters, guys. Obviously these two can work together on the same team if you do decide to go for both, but yeah, of course we have this video just to discuss because most of us would have enough Star Rail Pass to actually get both. So now we'll be talking about the most important question of the video, which is which character is going to be very beneficial for you. Now guys, in terms of the most beneficial character out of the two, I would definitely give it to Xuan. We have already know how good her skills defensive utility is to the team, as well as everything that she buffed for your other allies as well. She's a character that's going to be very good at keeping your team alive and doing damage for you as well. While for Imbibitor Lunae, obviously he has access to really good damage number. However, when it comes to damage capability, we already have a lot other character at this point in time. So I do believe that if you have already been playing Honkai Star Rail for quite some time, unless you're saving just solely for Imbibitor Lunae, you should have some other character who's able to deal decent damage for the team, especially when the standard banner character also have good offensive option already, especially character, you know, like Clara, or if you're someone who have just pulled for Blade, then yeah, they should work quite similar to Lunae. So definitely when it comes to value, I'll just have to give it to Xuan at this point in time. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's a game, guys, so definitely just use your stereo, pass on the character that you feel like you will be using the most, and enjoy their gameplay as well as love looking at their attack animation. So that should be everything I have to say regarding these two characters that's coming in patch 1.3. I hope that it has been a very useful video for you. If you do have any questions, just leave it down in the comment section and I or some other lovely Honkai stereo player will get to you there. Now guys, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as I hold a lot of giveaway, which is going to be very beneficial for you, and also it's just a free way to support me, guys. So yeah, I really appreciate you. With that, I wish you a super day and I will catch you on my next video.